What changed in Black and Label, and why people feel it now feels bigger now. Because people are experiencing the pressure of it in everyday life. By the end, you will see why what changed in Black and Label, and why people feel it now feels heavier right now, and where that pressure is really coming from. It looks like one headline or one trend, but the deeper story is a slow pressure that has been building for a while. It's not just inflation. It is a total redesign of how we are categorized and sold back to ourselves. We used to think a label was just a brand, but now it's a gatekeeper for your basic identity. Most people think the recent obsession with premium tiers is a choice. But that is the first lie we need to dismantle. The turning point happened when subcultures, like the gritty world of the Black Label Society, were stripped of their soul. What was once a symbol of rebellion became a corporate blueprint for manufactured exclusivity. Ozzy's song wasn't just music. It represented a raw, unfiltered reality that today's labels try to package and sell. Now, that grit is a marketing aesthetic used to make you feel like you're part of an elite club. But look closely at the cost of this new social hierarchy. Every 20 seconds, the gap between the labeled and the unlabeled grows wider and more expensive. In the past, you could buy a product and own it. Today, you lease the status that the label provides. If you stop paying, the label disappears, and so does your perceived value in the digital town square. This is why you feel the change now. It's no longer abstract. It's hitting your daily relationships. Are people reacting to the products themselves, or to the deeper pressure of being left behind? The incentive for companies changed. They no longer want to serve the many. They want to harvest the few. This shift created a vacuum where authenticity used to live. When everything is premium, nothing is. We are living in a sea of fake milestones. The consequence is a permanent state of identity anxiety. The hidden force driving this is the need for constant visible validation. This is where what changed in Black and Label, and why people feel it now stops feeling abstract and starts feeling real. Think about your last major purchase. Did you buy it for the function or for the label it carries? If you feel like you're running faster just to stay in the same place, you've identified the trap. The Black Label isn't an upgrade. It is the new baseline for survival in a stratified society. We've traded community for tiers, and the cost of entry is our peace of mind. But here is the twist. The people at the top are just as anxious as you are. Because once you reach the top tier, you realize there is always another label to chase. It's a cycle of perpetual wanting, designed to keep the engine of consumption running hot. This explains why the sentiment around Black Label Society's aesthetic is resurfacing now. People are nostalgic for a time when black meant something real, not just a marketing tier. The feeling of being official used to come from contribution, not from a subscription fee. When we lose that distinction, we lose our sense of belonging. The fallout is visible in how we treat our work and our time. We are optimizing ourselves for the label, rather than the experience. This creates a paradox. We have more access than ever, but we enjoy it less. The reversal happened when the tools of liberation became the tools of comparison. Every official tag is a subtle reminder of who is excluded. This is why the reaction is so visceral right now. The pressure has reached its breaking point. You aren't just imagining the tension. It's a structural part of the modern economy. The benefit goes to the platforms, while the cost is paid by your mental health. What if we stopped chasing the label and looked for the song instead? The music of Ozzy reminds us that flaws and grit are what make us human. But the market wants us to be polished, categorized, and tier-stamped. If you want to opt out, you have to be willing to be unofficial. This is the core conflict of the next decade identity Vs. Branding. We are seeing the first waves of a massive rejection of the premium tier lifestyle. People are starting to realize that the black label is just another name for a cage. The stakes are your time, your money, and your sense of self. Don't let the marketing frame your reality. Look at what's actually being sold. We've moved from a society of creators to a society of curators, and it's exhausting. The turn happened when we started valuing the box more than the contents. And this is where what changed in black and label, and why people feel it, now stops being a topic and starts looking like a daily reality viewers recognize. The official story is that tiers make things better. The real story is that they make things lonely. As we move forward, the unlabeled will become the new underground. The real question isn't how you get into the club, but why you want to be there at all. Because the clubs are changing their rules every single day. If your status is granted by a corporation, it can be taken away by an algorithm. This is the insecurity that fuels the current trend. The fear of the demotion. But there is power in being unrankable. When you stop playing the labeling game, the pressure starts to lift. The black label era is a peak, but every peak has a descent. We are witnessing the burnout of the premium identity. What comes next is a return to the things that cannot be tiered. True connection, raw art, and time that doesn't belong to a brand. The lesson of the black label is that you cannot buy your way into being real. It's a hard takeaway, but a necessary one for the world we live in now. The next time you see a premium offer, ask yourself what is actually being excluded. Usually it's you. The story of the label is the story of our era's greatest illusion. The music of the past survives because it was about the struggle, not the status. The modern label fails because it tries to hide the struggle behind a price tag. People feel it now because the price tag has finally become too heavy to carry. We are at the end of the premium dream and the beginning of a reality check. One sharp takeaway: your value was never something that could be labeled. What matters now is how much more visible what changed in black and label, and why people feel it now becomes in daily life from here. The labels are fading, but the pressure is still there. What will you do when the brand disappears? The bigger question now is whether what changed in black and label, and why people feel it now keeps spreading, or finally hits a breaking point.